Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to start with the bases of makeup application. So I've had many requests to show many tutorials on how or what types of products to use for their skin and how to apply it properly. First thing I want to talk about is types of skin. Some have combination skin, some have oily skin, some have dry skin. I am dry. I get flaky skin and everything, so I have to take a lot of steps in my skincare routine to make sure that that does not happen. You are oily skinned. What you'll want to use if you get oily in the daytime or whatever, you'll want to use a matte foundation. So one that I would recommend is Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. It looks like this. You can get this at your local drugstore. If we're going on with that, you always want to make sure that you have a clean blank canvas. You want to make sure that your skin is prepped properly. If you have dry skin, you want to make sure it's very moisturized and stuff like that. If you have oily skin, you'll want to take the proper steps to make sure that you don't have excess oil on your face, or else your foundation is just going to slide off by the end of the day. I am not a dermatologist, nor am I a professional. I just learned from trial and error. For those of you who are dry, moisturization is the key word here. You want to make sure that your face is very moist. Stay away from matte if you are dry, especially if you're extremely dry like I am. Stay away from matte. What I'm using today is Physicians Formula. I have two different shades here because I'm in between tan from my cruise. And this is the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. And I believe that this is, yes, it says for all skin types. So even if you're matte, dry or combo, you can use this foundation and it will work for all. That is what I'm using today, but I have a few other things to talk about before we move on to our foundation. Now there's many different primers to use before you put on your foundation. One is a color correcting primer. I have one like this. It's from Catrice. It is called, I don't know why it's doing that. It is called Prime and Fine Anti-Redness Base. This is a primer that basically it has a green tint to it. And it's, well, this isn't open, but it's about this color. And what you do is smear it on your face where you have redness. Like I have rosacea, but I haven't had to use this yet because I like my foundation full coverage. The next is, if you have really dry skin, you'll want to go with a Hydro, a very moisturizing primer, and this is a good one. This is by NYX. You can find this at your local Ulta or your Target, and this is the Hydro Touch primer base, and this is very moisturizing, and this is a good one. If you have very oily skin, I'm going to show you guys some drugstore products for those, you know, some people don't have the money to go out and spend tons of money on high-end products. So if you have oily skin, this is the Wet n Wild, and I think this is like $5. You can find this at your local discount store, drugstore. This is a matte primer, and this is a pretty good primer. And they also have a dewy luminous primer. I'm sorry. All Wet n Wild products. They are very, very, very affordable. I think these are like $4.99, $5.99. There's also another primer that is pore filling primer, and this is my favorite. This is Tarte Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. This is one of my favorites. I'm going to do another video explaining how oils and serums and things like that come into play with your skincare and your makeup application. So we're just going to get started. I'm going to take my patches off. Even though I have washed my face and moisturized and everything, I'm going to go in with my normal routine, and which is my Smashbox primerizer. And I do have a larger bottle that I just keep refilling my little one so I can keep it up here on my makeup. What I do is just go in, even though I have moisturized my face, is I go in and just give it a spritz I like to put a lot on, as you can tell. After I do that, I go in with my Smashbox Primerizer, and it's a lotion and a primer. And I usually do about 3 squirts, rub it in my hands, and I go all over my face. Okay, so after I do that, I go in with my Tarte, and I just take a little bit. This is what it looks like. It's like a putty. What I do is just, it doesn't take much at all. Take a little bit, and I go in where the pores are. And what this does is fill where most of our pores are more accentuated in our T-zone. Go in and rub it gently and then pat it in. And then I take a little bit and go between my brows. And then once I get that done, then, okay, so next I'm going to go up with, I have my next thing I'm going to use, I'm sorry. You can also, if you have dry skin, you can go in with an illuminating primer also. It doesn't matter. You can use 2 or 3 different primers. It's up to you how you like your skin. Sometimes I'll only use 1, sometimes I'll use 2, sometimes I'll use 3. But today I feel this works pretty well. This is made by Physicians Formula. This is a Spotlight Illuminizing Primer base. And you just take maybe 2 pumps. And that's what it looks like. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it. And then you just take it and rub it all over your face, especially in the high areas where you want that dewiness at. I like the dewy look. Some people do not. Okay, now for my foundation, I have to use 2 different colors because I'm in between shades. So what I'm going to do is, and I don't know if you know anything about the Physician Formulas, comes with this big doe foot applicator. And so what I'm going to do is just go around my face. And I like a thick foundation. Let me kind of turn up my... So I'm just going to go around. And you'll have to go in several times. I don't know what's up with that. It wasn't like that when I first bought it, but and always do less. You can go back in and do more if you need to. I know that don't look like it here, but I try to drag it down my neck a little bit. And then I will go in with the darker color, which is a lot darker, and just kind of spread it around also. And then I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and just start blending it in. And you can use any sponge that you have on hand. Just make sure you use a damp sponge. And always get your ears. You want it to blend with the rest of your face. And this is like a medium, so full coverage. This is a very natural filling. Just continue to bring it down my neck so that it matches. If it's not the right shade, but I think I did pretty good on this one. Yeah. Okay, now that I've got my foundation on, I am going to go in with my concealer. Now, if you have dry skin or dry under eyes, you're going to want to use a more emollient concealer, one that's a little more moisturized. I'm going to go in with my Catrice Camouflage High Coverage Concealer, and this is very moisturizing. And since we're not doing like a full coverage, this is more of a, I'd say, it's a lighter coverage. And as you can tell, it's very moisturizing. I usually go in with 2 or 3 different shades. And I go up my nose. And then I take some around here. And some on my Cupid's bow. And then on my cheek. And then I'll take my Beauty Blender. And I will start to blend that out. So after I get the first application on, I'll look and see if I have any more blueness to it. And if I do, I'll take a darker shade like the Infallible. It's a little oranger. And then I'll go ahead and put a couple dots just under my eyes. And then I will go back in with my Catrice. And in the corner of my eyes too. And I will blend that out with my blender. And that will help to color correct a little bit. Okay, so now that we have our foundation on, and our concealer on, I'm going to take a little brush. This is the e.l.f. P65, and I'm going to go into my BH Studio Pro, which looks like this. This reminds me of, they said it's like a dupe for the Mac Pro Studio. And I'm just going to lightly tap on it and then tap off. And I'm going to make sure there's no creasing under my eyes. And then I'm going to take that and just gently press it underneath my eye. If you want to, you can also do it on the other places. This is a brightening. That's why I use it. See how light it is? And it will help to brighten up those areas where you used the concealer. So next, after we got all that done and got that set, we are going to go in with a setting powder. We have all of this foundation, so we want to set it so that we can apply our powder products on top of it, or else it's going to skip and it's going to be patchy and it's going to look like a muddy mess. So my favorite is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Setting Powder. This is what it looks like. It smells like peaches and it tastes like peaches. It's so yummy. But what I like about this thing is it comes with a neat little sifter here so that you don't overuse. So what I usually do, just pour a little bit in my cap. So what I do is I take my sponge and I go in and just kind of coat it a little bit. And then I'll start to press that in. You don't want to drag it because you don't want to disrupt your foundation anywhere. I just kind of go over, skip around the places where I did it to highlight so that I'm not darkening that up. So I'm just still using what's left in my lid. You don't need a whole lot because you don't want to look like a cakey mess. So there you have it. There is your base application that comes with moisturizing foundations, concealers, powders, and all that good stuff in concealers. So you have asked me to do these in step-by-step so that you guys can learn how to properly do it. I hope I gave you enough information. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed, please do so. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to let you know every time I upload a new video. And I hope you're all having a wonderful day wherever you are. And God bless you.